one of the anti-Muslim rallies that happened over the weekend happened in Ohio, and it didn't have a huge turnout. In fact, only one woman showed up, and she was greeted by Muslim counter-protesters who were trying to educate her about the issue. In the end, it actually worked. Take a look at the video.
There's not evil in me. I pray for my Muslim brothers and sisters.
Hold on.
I pray for the murdering to stop.
None of us want murder. Listen, none of us want murder. None of us want any of this.
That's not true, though.
No, it's true. None of us want murder. Trust
Maybe
me.
you guys don't.
No real Muslim wants murder.
No true Muslim.
No, just like no Christian wants genocide and Holocaust and
seriously.
slavery.
I heard you.
Been in the mosque.
You've never been around. Let's see how you can set these down.
Help!
Here, can I hold your sign for you?
Come on, yeah.
Come and help me.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so look, first of all, these anti-Muslim protests throughout the country were ironically labeled Global Rally for Humanity. It's the exact opposite, right? That woman you saw there who was protesting, it was hilarious that she was the only one who showed up. But she was yelling, ranting, and raving about muzzies. Like, that's what she called Muslims, muzzies. And how she said, too many Muslims don't understand the Quran. Then they asked her, have you read it? She's like, no, of course not. So then this Muslim woman comes up, and you saw the interaction. She's like, let me get a hug. Let's hug it out, right?
Aww.
God, I love that woman. Okay, so she says, hey, none of us want the violence. You're protesting the wrong people, right? Now, I don't agree with the one thing that they said. They said no true Muslim wants violence. It's the no true Scotsman fallacy, right? Yeah, ISIS thinks they're true Muslims. You think a true Muslim would be peaceful. The books are wildly contradictory. I have read the Koran and the Bible. They both say do violence, don't do violence. It depends on the part you're reading, right? So you can quote the Bible, the Quran all day long. Like the more dangerous rally in Arizona with 120 protesters, people had come with verses from the Quran. They're like, do you know how violent that is? You're right. You want me to bring out the Bible? I can show you hundreds of pages filled with unbelievable violence, right? It's not just the Quran. So, but the heartwarming end to this is they took her into the mosque.
I know.
And she went into the mosque, and guess what happens? She's like, oh, they're human beings.
Right. So I actually give everyone in this a tremendous amount of credit, and that includes the protester, because I think it takes a lot of courage and a lot of, I don't know, self-awareness to admit that you're probably wrong and to be open to learning more about a culture that you might not know much about, right? So she starts off with the muzzies comments, and then it ends with her going into a mosque, hugging a Muslim woman, and being more open-minded about the culture. And I like that. I give her a lot of credit. And this is in Ohio. Obviously, she's a very right-wing conservative person, and I like the fact that she was open-minded enough to do this.
And credit to the cops, too. Right before she went into the mosque, like, let's just check you for weapons just in case.
Yeah.
Right? That's a good job of doing your job. And she said, it's more likely that I'll spontaneously burst into flames as a Christian entering a mosque. So she didn't mean any harm. She didn't have any weapons. She was kidding around at the end. And to me, I'm with Anna. The best thing I liked about her was that at least she was open-minded enough to do the hug, to go into the mosque and start to learn about people. And what she's going to find out is the same thing other people found out in an earlier story we did. Some of the guys who had come with "Fuck Islam" T-shirts, same guys from the mosque came out, brought them in, and their conclusion was, oh, they pray to God just like we do. I say, of course they do.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of hatred comes from ignorance. It doesn't necessarily mean that a person is inherently bad. People are afraid of things that they don't know about or they don't understand. And I think that's what happens with Americans that have this terrible issue with Islamophobia.
Yeah, and so when I kidding around do this, right, I don't do that with guys who are truly evil, and I don't really believe in the concept of evil, but who have done terribly damaging things like Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld said. I never do the spittoon, right? Because they're not ignorant. They know what they're doing, and they do it anyway, right? The spit thing is for people who just, they got brainwashed in the wrong way. I'm not giving up on them. I tease them, right? But at the end of the day, if they were open-minded enough to have a conversation, I bet we agree on a ton of stuff that they would be shocked by.